Welcome back, everyone. You may have just picked up your iPhone SE 3rd generation, and you may be wanting to find some of the first things you should do with it, or some tricks or tips. So let me go ahead and break down some of my favorite things to do on my iPhone SE or any iPhone that I own. The very first thing I would recommend doing, though, whenever you buy any iPhone, including this iPhone SE 3rd generation, is to actually update your phone. You will not believe by the time you pick up an iPhone like this, there may already be an update available. So I'd recommend doing here is going and making your way over to your settings application like this, scrolling down into general, which is right there. And all you want to do here is click on the software update panel right there, and you just want to go ahead and see if there's an update available. Now, if you just bought this iPhone the day it came out, then there's probably not going to be any issues there. However, if you are going to go ahead and pick up this iPhone many weeks or months or years from now, there's probably an update. So I'd recommend updating your phone, and that's pretty much the first thing I'd recommend doing. Now, there is another really cool thing within your iPhone SE that's supported on a lot of other iPhones with iOS 15, and that is actually Smart Select. So what is this? Well, essentially within our Photos application, we actually have the ability of selecting text within images. So you can see this is an image. This is not, a text, field. This is not a PDF. Same exact thing with other images. If I go ahead and try to find another image that has text in it, I don't think I'll be able to find one. But essentially, these images have text. These are literally just screenshots. But what you can actually do with your iPhone SE 3, this is also supported on other iOS 15 devices, is selecting text within images. So you can actually go ahead and hold down on a text like this as if you're copying text from like a web page, and you can see I can actually copy that text just like this. And this is awesome. I think this is also supported on the SE 2nd generation, but you also have this capability here. So I can go ahead and copy the text there. I can go ahead and make my way over to my Notes app here, and I can go ahead and click here, and I can go ahead and click paste, and look, it'll go ahead and it should paste that text. I don't know why I didn't paste that first time, so I'll go and click here again. So you may have to do this a couple times. Click here, I'll click copy. It should have worked the first time. I don't know why it didn't work here. For some reason, the Notes app didn't want to work. So if I go and click here, click paste, you can see it does paste in that specific application. And that's what's so crazy to me. So you have that type of capability within your iPhone SE 3rd generation as well. And if you screenshot any other spot, if you know, you can click the power button and the home button there. You can go and open it up here, and you can do the exact same thing essentially. So that is pretty much it. That's a really cool thing I love doing on my iPhones. Now, another really cool thing is drag and drop. So what is this? Well, essentially within iOS 15, we have the ability of dragging and dropping system-wide across our actual, iPhone. So what we can do, for example, is if we make our way over to a website like, Safari, for example, we can actually go ahead and copy certain things from a specific page and drag and drop it to a different, spot if we want to. So in this case, look what happens. If I go and hold down on that learn more option, I can go ahead and drag it around wherever I want to. You can see behind my finger, it's there. If I go and click the home button right there, and if I go and make my way back into messages, I can go ahead and drag and drop that specific item right there. So it'll drop that link for me. So that's a really cool thing. You can drag and drop really pretty much anything system-wide. If I go and drag and drop this little icon here, let me see what happens if I go and bring it into iMessage. You can see pretty much does the same thing. It just drops it right there. But it also works for images as well. So if there were any images here, I think all of these are just links, but if there were any images, I would be able to essentially do that exact same thing, which is so awesome. So I don't know if I can drag and drop this so it doesn't allow me to do it, but you can do it system-wide, which is so cool. So that's another really cool thing that I like doing just on any iPhone. Now, another thing within iOS 15 is background sounds, and luckily our iPhone SE 3 supports this. So what this is essentially if we make our way over to our settings app once more, we actually have the ability of kind of having some, background sounds if we want to. Now, not everybody likes this kind of stuff. Personally, I love this, and sometimes if I'm in like a noisy environment and I need to focus, or if I need to sleep or something, I'll sometimes turn it on, and it's nice. I used to use an application for this. Now you can use it within your iPhone. It's built in. So to do this, what you want to do is you want to scroll down from your settings. You want to go into accessibility, which is right here. You then want to go ahead and go into your sounds option, which should be right here, sound, audio, and visual right here. You want to click there, and you'll see this new little toggle that says background sounds. So what you can do here is you can go and click on background sounds, and you can actually enable it by clicking on that enable option right there. So what this will do is it'll go ahead and have a little bit of a background sound for you. It'll sound like some static noise or something, and this is a really cool thing. I love this capability so much. And having that right in the background of your specific little sound thing is so cool. And like I said, I'm in love with this thing. And you can go ahead and customize the sound, and you can customize a lot of different things here too. So without a doubt, this is definitely another cool thing I would recommend looking at. Now, on top of that, as most of you know, you have the capability behind your iPhone to actually double tap, or even I think triple tap on the back of your iPhone to do certain tasks. So what this looks like is essentially you can make your way over to your settings panel like this. For example, you can make your way back over here. You want to scroll down into accessibility. You want to go scroll down into touch, which is right here. And what we can do is we can go ahead and right under, scroll all the way down, under back tap, we have the capability on our iPhone SE 3rd generation to actually back tap on the back of our phone to do certain things. So some of those things can include, if we go and click on double tap, we can have our iPhone, enable the accessibility shortcut. We can have it turn on the app switcher, camera, control center, so many different things, lock screen. A big one is screenshotting. A lot of people like enabling screenshotting this way. And it's a really cool thing that we have right here. So if I wanted to go ahead and, for example, if I wanted to have my iPhone, screenshot when I double tap the back, well, look what happens. If I double tap the back of my iPhone, you'll see it should take a screenshot. So I'll double tap again, and you can see it took a screenshot. So that's a really cool thing that we have. Now, you can also triple tap it to go ahead and configure something too. So if we scroll back and we click on triple tap, we can have it do something when we triple tap our iPhone as well. So these are really cool things that we have. Personally, I think it's probably okay if you don't want to enable it, but I love having something like this. Just having the capability on our iPhone is really cool to even have this, especially on an iPhone SE 3. That is one of the cheaper iPhones that Apple makes. Now, finally, I do want to hit on something that I would recommend all of you to do within your iPhone SE 3's camera. So if we make our way over to our camera application, if we click on this drop down arrow, what I would recommend doing is making sure that live photo is off, which is the second toggle. You can also see it on the top right corner. But what I would also recommend you to do is to make your way over to your camera or your settings application like this, and you want to scroll down until you see camera. So you pretty much just want to keep scrolling down. You'll see camera right here. All you want to do is you want to go and click on that camera option, and you'll come into this page. Now what this page will basically show you is a bunch of different camera options you can go and configure. So what I would typically do in this specific situation is to scroll through and see and kind of configure my iPhone settings and the camera settings to be exactly what I want. So under formats, you can click here, and you can either have your iPhone photos be taken in a high efficiency mode or most compatible mode. I think most compatible is probably the one I would rather prefer in this specific case. That's how I have it on my personal iPhone, but you can also set it to either one of these options here. You would probably want to go ahead and click on record video and have it set to certain options that you want. So 4K at 60 is really good, but it's going to take up a lot more storage. 1080p at 30 is more than enough. 1080p at 60 is more than enough, to be honest. So I'd recommend going through here and configuring this however you want to. You can also turn on auto FPS at the bottom right there. Scrolling down, you can enable the option to scan QR codes. You can preserve your settings. You can record stereo sound as well, which is really cool. And you can also have the option of configuring out a couple of different things here. Now at the bottom, you can go and prioritize faster shooting. So what this will do, and you can read about it right here, intelligently adapt image quality, rapidly pressing the shutter. So if you're clicking rapidly like this, it'll go ahead and click, which specific photos you probably prefer in that specific situation. And that's another really cool thing too. So I would recommend going through there and kind of configuring it out. Now, as always, you can swipe up from the bottom and you can enable things like your control. You can enable things like low power mode. You can adjust the brightness if you want to, and all these other things too, which most of you probably know this. If you don't, you should probably watch my beginner's guide of this specific phone. But those are some of my favorite tips and tricks and first things to do on your iPhone SE 3rd generation as soon as you pick it up. Personally, I think this is a good phone for the price, kind of. If you picked it up, I don't want to bash it too hard, but those are pretty much the things. Another thing, I'd probably recommend getting a screen protector on your phone, as well as probably a case. Those things will probably do you justice, in case you drop it or anything like that. But those are some of the first things you should do and some of my favorite tricks and tips for your iPhone SE 3rd generation. If you have any other questions or anything like that, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.